5 local banks have been forced to cough up 385 million shillings to spare the chief executive officers from facing criminal charges for their involvement in the National Youth Service scandal. The Director of Public Prosecution says the financial institutions were fined for failing to disclose to the Central Bank of Kenya that their institutions were used as conduits for one of Kenya's biggest looting scandals. Lillian Kiari has the details.
DPP Noordin Haji says KCB Group, Standard Chartered Bank, Equity Bank, Diamond Trust Bank and Co-operative Bank have been fined for violating provisions of the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act.
And really this is not...
These include failure to report large cash transactions, failure to undertake adequate customer due diligence, and their reluctance to seek supporting documentation for large transactions.
A total of 385 million has been realized by us, and all this money will be deposited in the prosecution fund and will be restituted back.
The financial institutions entered into deferred plea agreements with the office to defer their prosecution.
The banks were not involved in graft, they just did not report suspicious transactions.
The plunder of funds meant for empowering the youth by creating job opportunities took place in a span of 3 years between 2015 to 2017. The well-orchestrated scheme involving senior government officials and ghost suppliers saw millions of shillings siphoned from the public institution to private coffers. At the center of the controversy were former Principal Secretary for Youth and Gender Affairs Lilian Omolo Mbogo and NYS Director General Richard Ndubai. The now famous Ngirita family was also meshed in the loot for allegedly receiving 60 million shillings for supplying air to NYS. Treasury staff and another 54 suspects were also arraigned for their involvement in the loot. Banks have been on the spot for failing to report large transactions conducted in their institutions to the industry regulator, the Central Bank of Kenya.
I know there was insinuation that maybe some of this money, I pocketed some of this money, me and the DCI, just as there are other insinuations out there. Just wishful thinking.
The banks and the law enforcement agencies have also entered into an agreement which will see disciplinary action taken on any staff members who are involved or implicated in the scandal. Lillian Kiari, NTV.